Okay, good afternoon, traders. Good afternoon, and welcome to FX Trader Pool Monday Market Update number 206 for Monday, 1st of December, 2025. I hope you're all well. Hope you enjoyed the weekend. Hope you're ready for a an interesting and eventful week in markets. As always, you are very welcome here, but just remember that you are always responsible for your own trading decisions. Next one, Netflix, of course. So Netflix went through a stock split, okay, recently, and it kind of had an impact. But once again, this is the weekly chart, and we have talked about this before, in that it has been in a lovely trend for the last couple of years. We start to go parabolic, pulling away from those moving averages, and then invariably, what I was interested in is that we've come away from there, but we have formed basically a lower high, kind of like a 1, 2, 3 pattern there, and we have started to roll over, and the selling has increased, and so from being up here at about 130, just north of $130. And we are now, what of interest to me is that, kind of last week, we are creating lower highs and we're getting beneath the 50, all right, getting beneath that weekly 50, which, as you can see, all right, has been a good time. It's been almost like 2 years since we were last beneath there. And even then, it was a bounce before a lovely move up there, really nice bounce off the 50. So, I start to get interested when price gets at these kind of inflection points, as always, those of you who've been here before. And so I start to get intrigued, right? Okay, we're behind. Do we pump up here into the sort of into that kind of 20 and 50 period moving average area? Does that then form as another kind of lower high, which basically then gets us pushing down towards that big round number at 100? Okay, that's the kind of scenario I like to sort of see play out. But we looked at this with Bitcoin a couple of weeks ago, and it didn't pull back; it just collapsed. Okay, so that is, of course, the always the interest. Now, Netflix, my understanding, and I don't in any way consider myself a media expert. Netflix are invariably they are entangled in an element in terms of acquisitions of, I think, is it Warner Brothers. If you're a media interest, you might have more insight than me. What I do know about Netflix is that they are releasing. They have started the release of the kind of last series of Stranger Things. This is what happens when you have a kind of a 14-year-old niece who basically insists on keeping you updated with every sort of minutia of the TV show. I don't have to watch it myself. I've got a niece to tell me all about it. But that has been a huge money spinner for Netflix. I think they've made about $1 billion off it, and of course now they're talking about, well, do they try and turn it into a sort of Star Wars type ecosystem there again? So whether that will bail them out, who knows? But certainly at the moment, that doesn't look very bullish to me. And certainly $100 there is where I'd be looking for a drift towards, whether it's an immediate move or, as I said, maybe a pullback into the averages back to about 112 before it rolls over. And then I'm interested, well, what happens when we get to that big round number? Okay, that's the way I look at that on Netflix at the moment.